Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and as you all know, at our website we have awesome sewing patterns, but did you know that we also have awesome cutting files? Yeah. So with cutting files, the really great thing is that you can add them to your clothing, but you can usually use them for crafting. So today we're going to work on a door hanger, and I'm super excited about it, so let's get to it. Alright, so I don't know if you've seen those really cool round door hangers going around. Well, I was at my local Home Depot and I saw this round for only $10, and I thought, wow, this is just the perfect shape for what I want to make. So guess what? I got the round. I also have some paint brushes. I've got some different color paints according to what I want to make. I've got some painter's tape to help me keep some crisp lines. I went to the dollar store. Whoop, that's some thread, not needed. I went to the dollar store and got some flowers. These are some fall flowers, but obviously you can do this with any season or, you know, whatever you want. And then I have some, this is some vinyl, but this is just some removable vinyl. So I went ahead, downloaded my favorite saying. This is from the cutting files over at our Ellie and Mac website, and then I used my Cricut and I cut it out. Now, to show you how to do this, you can go to our, we actually on our YouTube channel have a video that shows you exactly how you can print these, download and print these out onto your vinyl, but we're not going over that today. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this all into one smooth surface, and I'm going to start with the color white. This is going to be a black and white circle, and then I'm going to use gold for the lettering, and then I'm going to use these flowers to decorate the top. So let's start by painting it all white first. I'm just painting along with the grain, and like I said, I'm going to paint one piece, the top of it is going to be white and the bottom is going to be black. So I don't need to worry so much, oh it doesn't matter. I don't need to worry so much about the bottom piece being all covered, but I did want to make it kind of even, so I'm just going for it and just kind of painting the whole thing white first. You can really use anything to paint it with. I just happen to grab these foam brushes and they make it pretty easy to make it smooth and nice. You can also obviously do whatever color you want to do. I'm just going with the classic black and white because I think it looks nice and crisp, and because I do have some black and white decorations on my porch, and so I think that that will go well with what I already have. It really doesn't matter that I got it over here because this is something I'm gonna use for something else. So I mean, that's not gonna matter. You can also paint the outer edge, the trim around the outer edge, whatever color you'd like. I'm not gonna paint it right now. I'm gonna think about it. But I might end up just going ahead and painting it white because I got a little bit of white on there, and that's okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that and paint it white. All right, once we painted the front as much as you want, I can still see a little bit of my grain right here. I don't mind that, so I am probably not gonna give it a second coat. If you don't wanna see that grain and you wanna paint it really, really thick on, you can do that, but I really do not mind that. I kind of like it, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my sides, painting my sides, and then I'm gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna move on to the next step. I am using just regular, this is Folk Art acrylic paint, but you can use any acrylic paint that you have at your stores that will work for this. And you may want to put something down on your mat so you don't get it all painted, but as you can see, I did not do that. All right, now that I'm finished with the white coat, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my black paint. Again, I'm using acrylic paint and my painter's tape, and I'm going to put my painter's tape somewhere right around the middle. And you can measure your round and make sure you find the middle completely. It's up to you. I'm gonna go down right here where that knot is. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and paint below that paint. I'm gonna do black, but obviously you can do any color you want. As you can see, I did remove my matte because I do not want to get the black paint on there. And then we're gonna go ahead and give it a paint. I'm gonna wait to dry a little bit and we're gonna do another coat. But as you can tell, I got some black right here because I touched it with my black fingers. I had paint on my fingers. So I'm gonna put a little bit of white right there again, cover it up. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and let it dry and then we'll come back, pull the tape off, and we will do, actually I'm gonna pull the tape off before I let it dry. That way it doesn't cake on there. There we go. Then we're gonna let it dry and then we'll come back to do our last little bit. All right, so now I've got my piece right here. It says Hello Fall. You can't see it right now yet because I need to read it. So instead of, on the other ones, we took out the outer edges to attach it to our vinyl, to our top or whatever it is. On this one, since I'm gonna use it as a stencil, I'm actually going to use one of these little like pick tools. You can use a pen, you can use whatever you want to use. And I'm actually going to take out the words themselves and make this vinyl actually into a decal. And actually you could save this and put it somewhere else. I don't know if I will or not, but this is just detachable vinyl. I might put it like here on my laptop. I don't know if you can even see this. Maybe I'll show it to you in a minute. And you can save it for other things. Put it on something else. You know what? I'm all about like more than one use. I love, I don't know if you've ever seen this, and I made one for my mom's door. Like, it just says hello on it, and it's on her door, and she's got a colorful door, so it looks really cute on it. So that's something you could do with it. Anyway, I'm wasting time here trying to move this around when I'm not even, that's not what I was planning on doing. I was gonna show you. So, you know, you will take your time and do it correctly, but you could put it on something and use it as like a something else. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and take them all off. Cause now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, should I like save them for something else? Like all the letters and everything. That's how my brain thinks. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull all these off to create that decal. Now, obviously, I was just gonna tell you, you could use this decal to just go ahead and put it right onto your board by printing it into like a, if you wanna do glittery, you could print it into some glittery paper, you could print it on whatever and just put it right straight on this board. And that would work as well, like if you just wanted to put it right on there. But I wanted to paint it, so that's why I'm doing this. So now I've got, as you can see, the words on here, so that is my decal. So then you can use some clear transfer tape and tear this off and transfer it to your piece of wood. I've had the hardest time with the clear transfer tape. Whoa, that was my scissors. And I've had a hard time with it like sticking really hard to my vinyl and then not wanting to come off. So sometimes what I've done is I actually grab the clear tape and I like rub it against my shirt and put a little bit of lint on it so it's not as grippy, as aggressive, so then it doesn't latch on so bad. And sometimes I've even used tape just a little bit to keep it. The only thing is you want these pieces to stay and not like wrinkle up like that did, because it makes it harder. But in like the middle pieces, like the A, you want it to stay where it's supposed to be. So that makes it a lot easier. But I've had so many difficulties with that I'm going to actually use, and I should have had it ready. I'm gonna use some of this painter's tape. And it might be a horrible idea, but painter's tape is not as adhesive as some other kind of tapes. So that's why I wanted to go with the painter's tape, and we'll see how it works. Because like I said, I use the adhesive stuff that it comes with. I've used it before and it was just not what I wanted. It just was not fun. It didn't work. So we're gonna give this a try and see what it does. You're probably sitting there thinking, surely the tape that it actually comes with can't be any worse than this. It's up to you, whichever you want to try. I'm just trying this because the other tapes have not worked in my advantage. They have let me down and messed up my design. So as I'm pulling, I'm actually being very careful and making sure that all of them come up, because again, I didn't like rub them tight. Like, you know, you're supposed to rub them so they'll stick. But I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to do that because I had it when I did that before and it got stuck so hard that it wouldn't come off later when it was time for it to come off. Like, it was so bad. And I just ended up ripping it all up. Have you ever had that moment where something did not work and you just end up like getting angry and ripping it apart, and not the best part of you, the not so good part of you shows up and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have been more patient. Yeah, that happened a couple times. So I'm trying something different with you all. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we'll go back to the other tape and see if that works. And I'll let you all know because I can't be the only one who that's happened to. Let me know below what you use if you do stuff like this and what has worked for you. If there's a certain tape that has worked for you that you really like to use, or if you just use the sticky tape and there's a trick to it that I don't know about, and I'm here using this other kind of tape and you're like, no, you know, you can use it like this. Just let me know below because I want to know. I want to be in the know. All right, we got it off. So now we're going to place it right where we want it. I'm trying to figure out, I want the hello to be in the white and I want the fall to be in the black. So now I'm going to nicely remove this tape and attach my actual vinyl to my board. But see, this tape peels off so nicely as opposed to the other stuff that I used. It was just not good. So there are tools that you can use that come with your Cricut to flatten it down. I don't know where my tool went. As I said, a couple of things I have lost due to moving, and it might have been it might be in a box somewhere stored, but we can do it. So I'm just pulling this slowly, rubbing the vinyl down so it will stick down as I go, and pulling the tape up. Again, this tape is so much easier to pull off than the other tape to me. So that's why I'm using this tape. If you find that the tape that comes with the vinyl, the actual stuff that you're supposed to use works for you, then you can go ahead and continue using that because that's what it's for. I just find that that kind of tape, that stick-on vinyl transfer tape, did not work for me. It was way too thick, it was way too sticky, and it just messed up my vinyl. You want to know what I'm smiling about? I already know that I'm gonna get some advice from some of my friends down below. I'm just gonna ask for something. I'm gonna ask that you be gentle with your advice, be kind, be encouraging. If you have some advice that you want to give on how you attach this vinyl, how you make your vinyl stencils, I would love, 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 love to hear it. We're learning as we go, and I would love to hear it, but I want you to please do me the favor and be kind as you are given that advice, because I know if you've done this a million times, you say, well, this is the correct way to do it and you're not doing it correctly. And that's fine. I want to know how it is, what the correct way of doing it and how it works for you. But please be gentle with me. And maybe it would have been better for me to like split it up into a couple of things instead of just doing it all in one. All right, one thing I will say is that when you are attaching these, if you're gonna use the paint method, like I am going to, like I'm gonna paint it on, you need to make sure that your edges are really good and patted down, so you don't have any like bubbles where the paint will go in through, because then you'll have that gap right there. So I'm gonna move this over a little bit so that way it'll sit nicely. Are we ready to paint? I think we're ready to paint. All right. So now once you get all those bubbles down around the edges, you can use like a scraper, like something like smooth that will help you smooth it down. Even a card. All right, now I got my paint and I'm gonna use the same little spongy things, because I know you can spill it on there and use a card to do it with, but because my edges might not be the best, I'm going to use this spongy thing and I'm just going to sponge on my paint. Just going for it, y'all. Just going for it. I'm gonna add a little bit more. I went with a really kind of thin coat, and now I'm gonna add like a second layer, a little bit thicker on. I'm gonna let it dry for just a little bit so it's not super damp, and then I'm gonna start remove it for the moment of truth. I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared. Okay, and then once I'm done with that, what I plan to do with this round is I want it to be eventually reversible. So we're not gonna work on the other side quite yet, but I want to do on the other side, I wanna do a Christmas piece on the back. So I'm going to end up painting it the same way in the back, but then once I have a Christmas vinyl that I want to use, I will use that for the back. So that means that all the decorations that I want to put in the front, because I want to add some decor on here, has to be removable in order for it to hang on the wall. Because if you have all these bulk right here, it's gonna stick out on the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my pieces that I'm going to eventually become, probably get rid of all this, that are eventually going to become my, like my flowers that I'm gonna add on there. And I'm actually going to attach them to some hook and loop, which I will also attach to the board. So I'm gonna attach one side to the board and then the flowers on the other side. That way they can be detachable, so they'll Velcro on and off. So that's what I'm going to do with this. So for that, I'm going to need some hot glue, some hot glue sticks. I've got them all right here in this handy dandy bucket. And I also have, I'm trying to figure out if I want, what I want to use to hang it on. So I've got this cute rope. You could use some twine. I've also got this gold, which is probably what I will end up using. And then I probably will just end up stapling to the outer round edge so it can hang just like this. Then you can make yourself like a cute fall bow or something to add detail to it, or just leave it plain because you will have the flowers on there. It is up to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that ready while this dries, so that way we can work on those flowers in a minute. All right, moment of truth. I'm ready to remove this vinyl, and I'm just gonna do it slowly so it doesn't take any of the paint off. The black in white paint that I already painted it. Oh, it's looking good. I'm gonna throw this out somewhere where it's not gonna get paint all over the place. And then I'm going to use this little hooky thing to take off the ones that are in the middle. How cute does that already look? So unfortunately, it did take a little bit of it off, but I don't know if I dislike it. I almost feel like it gives a little bit of a weathered look. If you want to go back with a little paintbrush and just brush over those parts that kind of stuck out a little bit, I'm sure there's something you can put on there that would help it stick. All right, so now what we're going to do is I've got my main part, which was that, and I need to actually let it dry. So while I let it dry, I'm going to work on the flowers, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these cute little flowers, which I'm going to tear up onto the top right here, so it has this cute little look up here, and then I'll attach the gold and that will hang from the door. So to make it removable, we're going to use some of this hook and loop, and I'm going to put it like right here where I want it is where I'm going to end up hot gluing it on. So I'm gonna start with, I'm gonna put this aside and let it dry. And I'm gonna start by hot gluing my flowers to my other piece. And that you can kind of do however you want to. I like to sometimes just take them off the stem so they're easier to manipulate. And I got these flowers from just a dollar store. So I just kind of take them off. I might leave some on the stem, put some back on the stem, but really it's just the look that you're going for. You can, if you're not doing it reversible, you can very well just hot glue it straight to the board, and that will be super easy to do. You can just start layering them up and put in a little bit of hot glue on each layer, and I'll do like one or the other, like every other one, and go just like in order like this and hot glue it right to the board. And then once I'm done, I'll add like some other stuff to it to make it look super, super cute. But again, I have to go the extra and try to make it reversible. So we're gonna be hot gluing it straight to this little friend right here. So I'm gonna got my hot glue gun, and we're gonna start just layering it just like we would on the board, but on this thing right here. I have the smallest little hot glue gun that's been with me for ages. I've had it years and years. I don't know how it still works, honestly. I don't know if you've had like tools that you have had forever that just kind of stick around and you're like, how are you still working? This is one of those tools that I'm just like, how are you still alive? Every time I pull it out, I'm like, surely this is the last time it's gonna work. And it's like, I got it. It's like the little engine that could. The little engine that could burn my fingers. So I'm just hot gluing it on and layering those pieces on top of each other of the flowers, of the leaves. And when, like I said, when I do the Christmas one, I'll add some green, you know, like pine leaves, I guess is what they're called. So that will be super cute, but I'm gonna do it just the same way and just attach it to the back. You wanna put enough that you're covering that Velcro, and then you can kind of use your board and make sure how much you wanna put on there. So like if you're coming from the side like this, you want to kind of drape a little bit. You add more to the back or less, whatever you want to do. I'm liking the look so far. I think it's looking super cute. Then, once I attach this, another stick. once they're attached to the hook and loop right here, you can actually start attaching it to the actual leaf to make it longer. And because there is like some greenery down here, I want to go from the back of a leaf and place that greenery on the back of the leaf, so that way it's facing the wrong way and covering the greenery from the other side. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So that way you're covering all that. So there is that part. Then we're just gonna add these little, like little pumpkin right here, and the little, whatever these are, berries. Hot glue those on. Again, wherever you wanna hot glue those, that's your choice. I think this one is finally saying, I'm done. My $5 hot glue gun from, honestly, probably 10 years ago. All right, so once you've got, ooh, here's another one. You can add as much as you want, honestly. You can just go to town. Go to town, adding as much as you want to it. Okay, and once it's exactly how you want it, then we're gonna grab the back of this. And, all right, so I hot glued it on. Now I'm gonna let it set and dry and take some of these hot glue little stickings off. And now you can add more of it, whatever you wanna do. And then when you wanna change it for the next season, you just peel that off, and then it'll hang straight on the wall. You can save this for later. And then you fall this back. We'll put it right back on. And it looks super cute. I love it. Now I'm gonna grab this. What I'm gonna use is this gold ribbon. And you can, there's another piece of flower. I'm gonna have to hot glue that on too, because, you know, we wanna put them all in there. So adding a little bit of this hot glue. And we're gonna attach it to another leaf. Okay, don't attach it to the board because you want it to be detachable. Okay, so then I can use the hot glue gun and hot glue it on to hang. Or you can use a staple gun, which I don't have with me right now. I have a good staple gun. And staple it on. All right, y'all. Y'all know I am a straight mess. I am just all over the place when it comes to doing certain things. But if that I am all over the place, can do this, you can too. This is so fun to create. It's just a little fun little like craft project. I love how it turned out. It is super cute. I don't know if the hot glue will hold it up. It came off. I didn't let it dry long enough. That's what let it dry. But if it doesn't, it's still wet right here. If it doesn't, then like I said, you can use a staple gun and staple it on there, and that would be much sturdier. And actually, maybe this ribbon is too thin for it because the wood board is kind of thick, but you can use a thinner wood board. And the reason why I tell you all these things and I show you all these mistakes is because I want to learn together, and I want you to learn to know everything that I'm doing. I don't want to do something and show it to you and you say, well, that was easy, I'm going to try to do it, and then it turns out and you're like, well, this was not right. I want to give you the correct information, and I want you to know the steps and the hiccups that I had. And that's why I use all these different ways of doing it. If the masking tape doesn't work for you, then you can use any other tape. Or if you want to just use the letters and just stick them right on there, print them in gold lettering, and then put some shellac on top of it, like some clear paint or something like that. You can also do that, and that might be like a much easier, but I wanted to paint it, and I think it turned out super cute. Once the other holiday vinyl cutouts come out, I'm going to do the back of it, so that will be totally reversible. But for now, here we are, and we are done. I'm going to go make sure I have somewhere to hang it on my door, because this is super cute. Even if you didn't want to hang it on the door, this is super cute to hang on the wall, lean against something in your shelf or something like that, on your fireplace. Just many places that you can add this to. I love it so much. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Let me know below what else you plan to make with these vinyls, and give me some tips and advice about what you use to transfer tape, because I'm really struggling here, and I know that others struggle too, and I love to hear from you all. Thank you for sticking around with me. Thank you for being so kind and loving. Come share your makes on Facebook and Instagram so everybody can be inspired by your makes and create their own things. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time.